Hi everyone, I'm Akanksha and I work on the Visio team as a program manager. I focus on the Visio web and iOS app initiatives.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining the session today to learn more about Visio. This is Shifali from the Visio product team, and I look into the content space in Visio, that is the different diagram types that you have in Visio. So moving on to the agenda for this session, today we would be talking about how we can leverage the power of Visio to create and collaborate on complex diagrams in Visio Web. We would be covering a lot of content and capability releases that we had in the past year and those that are lined up to make diagramming more impactful in Visio Web. So now going through the roadmap or showcasing all the cool things that we have enabled in Visio Web and the things that are there in the pipeline. So last year we released UML diagrams in Visio Web, which are a major diagram type in the IT software category. Soon after that, we announced co-authoring, and then we released the ER diagrams, that is the entity relationship diagrams, to complete the scenarios in the IT software category. This was followed by a bunch of other releases to make Visio Web more powerful, like providing user with the ability to change shapes easily, cut copy paste shapes and diagrams from Visio Web, exporting the diagram as image, and other operations to make working with multiple pages easier. Along with this, we also launched certain other improvements to connector creation, hyperlinking, etc. And in this year, we have a lot of releases lined up, like the new Visio landing page, which would be more coherent with WXP apps or the Office.com landing pages. And on the content side, this year we have already released the Azure diagrams and we would soon be releasing the AWS shapes as well. And this would be followed by capability releases like page level improvements, where a user can actually change the page sizes of the canvas. And some of the other significant things that we would be working on include enabling support for org chats, which are a major customer ask, and putting in efforts to improve compatibility of shapes in Visio Web and enabling mind maps in Visio Web. So this slide talks about some of the content releases that we had. The first major one was the ERD diagrams or the entity relationship diagrams. We released both Chen's notation and Crow's notation shapes in Visio Web to enable users to design their databases or to gauge problems in logic or deployment for existing databases. This was followed by a release of Azure shapes. So we have released the latest Azure shapes in Visio Web. These shapes are aligned to the new Microsoft Fluent design, and there are around 250 shapes as a part of 18 stencils that we have included in this release. Moving on to some of the capability releases that we had. So we have improved the connector experience in Visio Web, and now users can actually create connectors to and from any point on the shape. We have enabled the change shift feature, which allows you to replace any existing shape in the document easily while retaining the shape properties on replacement. We have also added support for hyperlinks, and you can link the shapes present in your document to other web pages or files or pages within the same Visio file, or you can even create a link to an email address. And by providing support for pinch and zoom feature, we have improved the experience on touch devices for users. There have been other releases as well on the capability side, which include copy paste across Visio files, which allows the user to take their diagram wholly or partially and paste it in other Visio files, presentations as Visio objects. We have also enabled export as image, using which a user can export whole of the diagram or part of the diagram in PNG format or PNG with transparent background or JPEG formats. We have provided options for 3 kinds of resolutions: high, medium, low, and user can choose any of these based on their need. So last is the multi-page operations. We have been receiving a lot of requests from the customer side around how Visio pages are static and cannot be moved around in the file. So to address this, we have added reorder, reorder on drag as well as dialog, insert page on right click, duplicate page on right click, and we have also provided a page navigation list using which user can navigate through different pages present in the document.
So as a part of this demo, I would be showcasing the content and capabilities which are already available in Visio Web. As you know, UML as a diagram category was launched in Visio Web around Ignite last year, and you can create different kinds of UML diagrams in Visio Web like UML class, component, deployment, activity, to name a few. So in this document also, we have various kinds of UML diagrams available, and you can navigate to any of the pages in this document by just clicking on its name in the page navigation list. Now I would be moving to the edit mode in Visio Web. I would be showing you the various page level operations that you can perform on this document. You can insert a page by just right clicking and choosing insert. Similar thing you can follow for duplicating pages as well. You can drag the pages around to reorder. Also, you can reorder by choosing reorder pages in the right click menu, and this dialog box opens up. You can actually move the pages up and down in order. So if you have a lot of pages present in your document, you can use the carousel to scroll and view the various pages. And you can navigate to any of the page which is present in the document using this page navigation list. Now I would be showing how you can create links for different shapes present in your document. So you can just click on the shape that has to be linked and choose link from the right click menu. Now I want to link it to some page present in my document. So I choose page in this file and I just choose the page name and I specify the link name. So as you click on this shape, it takes you to the page it is linked to. So I would show you how you can create external links to the shapes which are present in your file. For example, if I want to link this shape to a Microsoft form, I just click on link and it has to be linked to an external URL. So I enter the URL for the form that it has to be linked to. So now as you see, I click on the shape and the form opens up. So moving on to another diagram type that we have enabled in Visio Web, that is the ERD diagram. So we have enabled both Chen's database notation shapes and Crossford database notation shapes in Visio Web. As you can see, here is a patient database system which has been created out of Crossford database notation shapes. And now I want to create a connector that connects the patient entity shape to the diagnosis entity shape. So I hover over the boundary of the patient entity shape, and as you can see, I can create a connector out of any point on the boundary of the patient entity shape. Now if I want to change the type of this connector, that is the begin and end symbols of this connector, I can choose by just right clicking Also, if I want to export this diagram as image to be saved on my local machine for sharing with my team later or for reusing it, I can actually go to File, Save As, and download it as image. Now here you can actually choose the page that you want to download as image, and also choose the resolution in which you want the download to happen. We provide 3 resolution options for low, medium, and high. And also we allow download in PNG with transparent background, and JPEG formats. So as I click on download, a zip file is downloaded. I can see that there are separate images created for the 2 pages which were present in the document. And as I click on one of the pages, I can see the image that was downloaded. So moving on to another major diagram type, that is the Azure diagrams. So we have recently enabled the latest shapes for Azure in Visio Web. So as you can see now, the shapes are all modern looking and can be used to represent the various services, tools, and frameworks from Azure. So as you can see, here is an Azure diagram for Jenkins server on Azure. And if I want to change a particular shape in this diagram, for example, if I want to change the Azure Active Directory shape and replace it with another shape, I can just right click and choose change shape, and I'm replacing it with one of the Azure security shapes. So as you can see, the original properties, the shape text is retained, only the shape is changed. Now I'm just reverting the changes and sharing it with one person in my team. So I just click on share. As I enter the email address here and click on send, the person I'm sharing it with would receive the link to this document in the email.
As you can see, the user has just shared a file with me, and her presence is indicated on this diagram by the bounding box, as you can see around Azure Active Directory icon here. Now, I wanted to show you how copy-paste works in Visio for the web. From the screen, as you see, I will just right-click on this page and click on Copy. Now, this diagram is copied as Visio content. When I place it on the destination page, you can see that it is basically copied as Visio objects onto the Visio canvas. You can also copy paste across different Office apps. For example, if you would like to document this in Microsoft Word, you can just click on copy. Go to your Word document. As you see here, I have a Word document on the same file. I can just click on Control V or use right click and paste here to copy the content from my Visio file to this Word document. So, as my colleague Shafali presented, we saw a various kind of features and content that Visio has added in the past year. Now, I'm going to show you some of the content and capabilities that Visio for the web will be adding in the upcoming time. So, let me start with the future content improvements in Visio for the web. We have been listening to customer asks, and one of the major asks was AWS content in Visio for the web. With the addition of AWS and Visio for the web, users will be able to visualize and optimize their AWS cloud architecture. As a part of this content type, we will be enabling around 300 shapes or 27 stencils for AWS and Visio for the web. talking about the future experience improvements and Visio for the web. We have been hearing a lot of asks around how Visio for the web canvas is limited in terms of its size. That is, currently we just have A4 canvas size enabled by default in Visio for the web. With this experience improvements called page level improvements, we will be adding various features to the Visio canvas. One of them would be predefined page sizes, wherein the user can resize the canvas in terms of a fixed set of predefined sizes. We will also be adding something called auto size, which will enable the user to control the automatic expansion of Visio canvas. And they can go ahead and use the fishbowl area as a local workspace. We will also be adding something called fit to drawing, which will basically help you remove all the white spaces around your diagram on a single click. We will be adding something called unbounded canvas, which will basically help you give a free rein to your imagination by just going ahead and turning on the infinite canvas. You will experience a new kind of unbounded canvas in Visio for the web. As part of the future experience improvements in Visio for the web, we will also be working on office.com landing page. So, with this new landing page, the user will experience a plethora of benefits, starting with the shared office.com experience. So, with this, the user will see a landing page in Visio, which is coherent with the other apps in the Office 365 suite. They will also experience an improved file discovery, which means they will see options like recommended, recent, pinned, and shared with me to easily access the existing files. You will also get an enhanced collaboration experience because you will be able to view the recently edited, accessed, reviewed files by your colleagues and engage with such files. This landing page also brings on table better template categorization. So with the introduction of diagram categories on the Browse More Templates page, users will actually be able to better search for the required diagram type and any related content. With this, I would like to give you a small sneak peek into how the future of Visio looks like in terms of the content and experience improvements that we are bringing to Visio for the web. As you can see on my screen, there is a lot of variety of AWS stencils that is soon upcoming in Visio Web. I would also like to show you a demo feature called auto size as discussed. So when auto size is turned on, as you can see, I have added a shape using quick shape on my canvas. Now, what will happen is the canvas has automatically resized to accommodate this new content that has been added. I'll go ahead and now remove the shape from the canvas. Once you have done that, the canvas actually resizes again because auto size was turned on. Now let us see what happens when we turn off auto size. Again, I'm adding shape using quick shape, but right now, since auto size is turned off, the canvas will no longer resize to accommodate the content, and you can use this vast fishbowl area around the canvas as a local workspace for your purpose. I would also like to give demo of a feature called page size. As you can see, there are various sizes available in the drop-down, and you can go ahead and change any size that you want, and the canvas will basically change its size according to the dimensions mentioned and chosen from the dropdown. I also wanted to give you a demo of the new landing page. You click on visio.office.com and you are taken to this new landing page.
As you can see, the new office.com landing page is now visible on my screen. Here, on the section New, you can use it to create any diagram type from new blank drawing, basic diagram, basic flowchart to many more. You can click on More Templates to see the templates categorized by various diagram types. In the recommended section, you will see the files that have been recommended on basis of usage, sharing, and so on. In the recent section, you will see the files that you have recently worked on. You can go and pin any file by going to add to pinned, and then you will see it under the pinned category. So the pinned category will give you a way to easily access your files, especially the ones that you will be using frequently. There will also be a section called Shared with Me, which can be used to view all the files that have been shared with you by your colleagues. So, this was the overview of what is to come with the new Visio landing page.
So, as you just saw, at Visio for the Web, we are continuously improving and bringing in more and more content and features to users like you. With this, you have come to a conclusion of this session called Web-Based Diagramming. We have more sessions on Visio lined up, and you can access the same. If you would like to access this session, please go to aka.ms/visio/web. Thanks so much for watching this session.